And alam ba, Sandro, tomorrow nga, March 26, 2014, Thursday, magkakaroon nga nitong makasaysayan pack ng pamahalaan at ng MILF. Kaya para pag-usapan yan this morning, makakasama natin ang dating former Agriculture Secretary Saan Bacani. Good morning.
Good morning po.
Good morning din sa inyo.
So ito po, alam natin na kumbaga yung peace agreement na to ay ilang decades na nga po in the making. Kasi alam natin na matagal na pong hindi nagkakaroon ng kasunduan. And finally ngayon na thankful tayong lahat dahil kumbaga nakahanap na nga tayo ng parang find ng something na makakapag-ayos nga po nito. So, kayo po personally, how do you feel about this? Is it like a long achievement that we've all been waiting for? Like a reward, kumbaga, for all
Siyempre, because it caps really yung 17 years of negotiations na nag-umpisa noong 1997. Kanya, this really caps the 17 years of negotiations between the Philippine government and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front. Kanya nakakatuwa nga na umabot tayo dito after such a long time. But at the same time, it really just is the beginning of the implementation process.
Okay. So ano po ba ang mangyayari bukas?
Bukas, basically, formal signing lang to ng comprehensive agreement of the Bangsamoro. Ito talaga, ito yung framework, kung natatandaan nyo, yung framework agreement on the Bangsamoro, pinirmahan noong October 2012. Tapos natapos yung 4 annexes. Yung framework agreement na yun at saka itong 4 annexes ang bubuo ng comprehensive agreement on the Bangsamoro.
Okay. Sir, ito po, nabanggit nyo nga po yung 4 annexes ng Bangsamoro agreement. Nung sinign nga po noong October. So, maaari po ba natin mapag-usapan, kumbaga isa-isa yung mga annexes at kumbaga ano yung importansya niya sa pagbibuild nga natin ng ties with the MILF?
Sige, yung unang-unang napirmahan noong February 2013, yung annex na tinatawag natin on transitional arrangements and modalities. Okay. Basically, ito yung roadmap kung ano yung mangyayari from the signing of the agreement with the MILF up to the establishment of yung regular Bangsamoro government sa May 2016. Ito yung roadmap kung ano yung mangyayari. Okay. Yung pangalawang annex, yung tinatawag natin wealth sharing, kung paano yung paghahatian, yung kung ano makita ng pamahalaan in terms of exploring and developing the natural resources in the area.
Actually, sa area po na yun, alam natin na napakaraming mga hindi pa nagagalaw na mga natural resources na maaari nating pagkakitaan.
Dahil just because of the peace and order situation, kanya hindi pa talaga na-explore lahat ng mga possible opportunities doon in terms of the natural resources.
Yes. Sir, a question lang po regarding the wealth sharing annex. Ano po ba yung kumbaga yung mga specifications na ginawa natin para ilang percent po para sa wealth sharing ang kumbaga sa gobyerno at para sa mga sa MILF
okay,
po?
Yung ginawa natin kasi tatlong category in terms of yung wealth sharing. Yung non-metallic minerals, metallic minerals at saka fossil fuel. Doon sa non-metallic minerals, ang hatian doon, 100% Bangsamoro. Tapos wala sa central government. Okay. Doon sa metallic minerals, 75% ang Bangsamoro at 25% yung central government. Okay. Whereas yung sa fossil fuel, 50-50 ang hatian doon.
Okay. So, malaki rin pala po ang parte na nakukuha ng Bangsamoro dito sa...
Dahil,
hindi po siya kumbaga ang iniisip po. Marami sa atin na pag sinabi nating hatian ay talaga 50-50 pero ngayon po syempre dahil lupa nga po talaga nila yun at
the majority of the share in general will go to the Bangsamoro.
Alright. After po nitong what's the next annex po?
Yung tinatawag nating annex on power sharing, ano ito yung parang delineation of the different powers of government. Kinakategorize natin ito in terms of yung tinatawag nating reserve powers para sa central government ito at saka yung tinatawag natin concurrent, parang shared powers between the Bangsamoro government at saka central government at saka yung exclusive powers which pertain to the Bangsamoro government.
Yes. So maybe we could expound more about the Bangsamoro government, especially about the structure of the government. Now, alam natin, kumbaga, binuo nga po yung peace panel at syempre alam natin kung sino yung mga tao in charge dyan. So sila rin po ba yung malilipat at makikarry over bilang tagahawak nga po nitong Bangsamoro government?
Hindi mangyayari dito yung upon the passage of the Bangsamoro Basic Law, which we hope will be done before the end of the year. magkakaplebisito tayo among the in the designated areas na nakadefine yan sa mga annexes kung sino ang gustong sumama dito sa new political entity na tinatawag nating Bangsamoro. Pag nangyari nun, natapos na yung referendum na ratify na yung basic law, ma-abolish na yung autonomous region for Muslim Mindanao. Doon na magkakaroon ng, in the meantime, what we call the Bangsamoro Transition Authority, preparatory to the May 2016 regular elections.
So kumbaga, ang magiging elections po ay para po sa Bangsamoro government at hindi na lang po para sa ARMM.
Hindi na, hindi na.
Ipapalit
At saka magiging bagong sistema, yung the form of government will be, yung tinatawag natin ministerial, hindi yung presidential form. Magkakaroon ng mga representatives na bubuo ng isang assembly. Among themselves, they will elect the chief minister.
Alright.
Para hindi yung, kaya ngayon, direct voting tayo, hindi ba? Direct voting for the governor, for the vice governor. Magbabago yun.
Question ko lang po, this system of government was, kumbaga, sino po ang may gusto po nito? Sila po ba ang nag-recommend nito? Or ito po ang binigay ng gobyerno? Paano po
Basically,
ito
silang nag-suggest nito na nag-agree naman yung pamahalaan.
Okay. What is the reason behind the ministerial form of government po that they requested for?
Yung ano ito, yung I think hopefully there will be more balance between the legislative at saka sa executive. Ngayon kasi talagang malakas ang executive eh. Hopefully there will be more balance at saka yung the hope also is there will be more representation amongst all of the peoples and amongst the different sectors dun sa nabubuo ng Bangsamoro government.
Alright. Ito naman yung question ko kasi nga sabi kanina ni Sir na maraming kumbaga natural resources at maraming, alam ko maraming onti lang ang mga business sa loob ng itong Bangsamoro area sa ARMM. Sa tingin niyo po, paano po makakatulong sa ekonomiya ng Bangsamoro at kalahatan ng Mindanao itong peace pact na ito?
Okay. Hindi, hopefully situation, no? Even the last few years, nag-stabilize na nga because of the ceasefire agreement between the government and the MILF. Hopefully, as time goes on, things will normalize as far as peace and order situation and lead to a conducive business environment. Hopefully, pag nangyari yon, papasok yung mga investments dito sa Bangsamoro. Therefore, will create a lot of employment and business opportunities for the different peoples there.
Sir, what type of businesses are we seeing na kumbaga potential nga po para dito sa area nga po ng Bangsamoro?
Ang natural dyan talaga, it's basically agriculture and fisheries. Agriculture mainly for the mainland provinces. It's composed of Bangsamoro. At saka fishery and marine resources dun sa island provinces. Yung mga ganyan, yung aquaculture dun sa Sulu Archipelago. Basilan, Sulu, Tawi-Tawi.
Sir, how about, kumbaga yung mga stipulations natin, let's say there are like foreign companies or foreign investors who want to invest in this area, sa Bangsamoro area. Paano po yung mga technicalities natin dyan under the agreement?
Of course, since it's still part of the Philippines, merong nationality requirements pa rin in terms of ownership of land. Tsaka hindi sa negosyo naman, you don't really need to own the land. You just need to control it. Kanya, hindi ko nakikitang magiging problema yun.
Alright. Siguro, sir, can you please discuss to us yung timeline or yung roadmap po nitong itong dinidiscuss po for us to understand further?
Yung di bukas magpipirmahan tayo, no? Hopefully, by the end of the month or early April, yung nabuong Bangsamoro Transition Commission na bumubuo ng draft Bangsamoro Basic Law, hopefully matapos na nila yung draft. Tapos isasubmit ito sa Congress for passage. No? It will be certified as urgent by the President. Hopefully, let's say, from April up to the end of this year, hopefully ma-approve na yan sa House of Representatives at saka sa Senado. Pag napasa yun na yun, siyempre pipirma ng Presidente. Tapos magkakaplebisito tayo within 120 days from the passage of the basic law. Pagkatapos ng plebisito, lahat ng local government units na sasama na nagsabing yes o nag-ratify ng Bangsamoro Basic Law, mabubuo na yung Bangsamoro under the Bangsamoro Transition Authority, which will happen sometime next year. Magkaka-transition up to the May 2016 regular elections. Yun ang timeline dito.
Yes. Sir, ito naman I'd like to ask, kasi alam natin na kumbaga there are other foreign countries that also played a crucial role in helping us build the stronger ties with the MILF po and syempre to form this Bangsamoro Agreement. Ano po kumbaga yung naging key role at gaano kalaking tulong ba ang kanilang naibigay sa atin para nga po maayos at mabuo po natin ito?
Ano yung malaking tulong, lalong-lalo na yung, alam naman natin yung facilitator dito, yung Malaysia. No? Malaking role ng Malaysia dito because yung importanteng role ng facilitator. Meron tayong tinatawag din na International Contact Group na parang observers dito sa proseso. Binubuo yan ng United Kingdom, Japan, Saudi Arabia, at Turkey, and 4 international NGOs. Meron din tayong International Monitoring Team, nagmo-monitor ng ceasefire. Binubuo naman yan ng Malaysia, Indonesia, Brunei, Libya, Norway. Marami talagang involved na rito sa proseso. That's why there's a lot of interest in this peace process on the part of the foreign community.
Ito sir, gusto ko naman pong matanong kasi alam natin na this is something very positive and syempre it's a big leap for us with regards to attaining peace nga po in our country. Pero syempre hindi naman po palagi lahat ay sumasang-ayon sa ganito dahil meron pa rin pong mga kumukontra at siguro nga manonote po natin yung mga freedom fighters na kung tawagin. Ano naman po ang inyong opinion regarding sa kanilang so-called stand kung ba't po nila ginagawa yung kanilang mga ginagawa?
We're reaching out to all of them, not necessarily on an organizational basis, pero at least as people. Dahil mga magkakamag-anak din sila at saka yung may mga kaibigan dyan. So we want to be more inclusive dito sa proseso para masama-sana ang lahat. Of course, not everybody will agree, hindi ba? Wala namang nangyayari dito na unanimous lahat. So we're still trying to convince them to be part of the process. But if they continue not to be part and resort to violence, magiging, peace and order issue. Yung, hindi pwede yung violence dito. Hopefully, yung participation dito or any disagreement will not resort to violence.
Pero in the long run po, sa tingin niyo po, saan po pwedeng humantong itong peace pact na ito?
Kami very optimistic na after so long, hopefully, magsama-sama yung Bangsamoro, hopefully, mag-normalize yung sitwasyon dun sa parte ng Mindanao na yon. Because I think it will help not only Mindanao, but also the country in terms of really having benefits to a lot of people.
Ito, sir, gusto ko naman matanong na in the past, I'm sure we've also had attempts to attain this peace that we are, what we all want po. Pero kumbaga now po, with this agreement po, gaano po kalapit na ang peace na inaasam-asam nating lahat as compared to the previous tries, kumbaga, to attain this peace by the other administrations?
I think this is the best chance for a just and lasting peace in Mindanao because the process has been very transparent. Both parties have tried to be very inclusive. Yung masama sana yung lahat because tsaka during the whole time that we have been negotiating, maraming mga inputs ang na-consider from all sectors. Hopefully, ito yung resulta kung ano yung ninanais ng iba-ibang tao ng iba-ibang sektor para sa kabutihan ng Bangsamoro.
Yes. Right. So right now, kumbaga, from where we started until where we plan to be on May 2016, how would you say na, kumbaga, ilang percent na po tayo ngayon in the peace and kumbaga para ma-finalize na nga po? Nasaan na po ba tayo sa lugar ngayon?
Ano pa? Konti pa lang. Sabihin natin, mga 30-40%. Because yung major hurdle, marami pa eh. Yung siyempre kailangan mapasa yung batas, magka-plebisito, establishment ng Transition Authority, regular elections. In the meantime, may mga mangyayari na socio-economic programs, decommissioning, disbandment of private armed groups, yung issues on transitional justice and reconciliation. Marami pa kanya. Umpisa pa lang ito nung mas mahirap.
Yes. So, sa tingin niyo po ba, ano po ba yung benefits nito for both parties?
I think basically, for the Bangsamoro, I think it will lead to a more normal life, lead to more peaceful and productive communities rather than violence and crime. And as far as the government naman, I think this would provide the environment for more investments in the area to help uplift the quality of lives of the people there.
Yes. Sir, sinasabi nga natin na kumbaga itong mga signing at itong programa na ginagawa po natin to attain peace ay magiging very historical. Actually, tomorrow will be another historical day for us to attain peace. And this Bangsamoro po, sir, how do you think it could be an example, kumbaga, like, especially with the ties with the MILF, how could it be an example for us to also fix our ties with the other rebel groups also that we have in the country?
I think makikita naman nila dito yung sinseridad ng pamahalaan. Hopefully, yung mga other groups sumama sa proseso to this peaceful process rather than resort to violence para hopefully in the end wala na tayong tinatawag na insurgency dito sa Pilipinas.
Yes. So, sa tingin niyo po ba, ano po ba yung magagawa ng both parties po para po misalong mapatagal itong kapayapaan, ito pong peace na ating...
Importante rito yung because a lot of this is to correct the historical injustice. Marami ding nangyayari mga injustices sa iba-ibang lugar. Hopefully this will provide the solution to remedy those injustices. Importante, problema kasi natin talaga sa society natin yung injustice. Hopefully, as we show that this can be resolved peacefully, hopefully everybody else will try to join in.
Yes. Sir, this, I'd like to ask, siguro kumbaga, alam natin na on both parties in the past, we have both lost lives, syempre families po. So, now that we are coming into an agreement, so ano po ba mangyayari dun sa mga pamilya? Kumbaga, will they receive any compensation from the Bangsamoro government or from the Philippine government for the loved ones that they've lost in the past due to the misunderstandings that we've had already?
Titignan yan nung merong isang commission na itatatag, yung Commission on Transitional Justice and Reconciliation. Isa yan sa mga aspetong titignan nila, yung mga nangyari sa iba-ibang tao, in the meantime na meron tayong problema, how to resolve them into the future, ano yung mga mekanismo na pwedeng magamit some of those issues. In the meantime naman, magkakaroon din tayo ng socio-economic development which will be community-based to provide alternatives for the former combatants and their families.
Alright. Paano naman po ba, how can the ordinary citizen, kumbaga, parang...
Paano we could be part to
part
help
of this
also,
agreement,
syempre, and support especially this agreement that we are having to attain peace in our country.
Yung nga, yung binanggit ko kanina, hopefully yung mag-normalize yung sitwasyon doon. Pag nag-normalize, maraming normal activities na mangyayari.
Makakapunta na tayo doon.
Hopefully, may mga negosyo magtatatag doon. May mga turista pupunta sa lugar na yon. Kagaya ng other parts of the Philippines na hopefully, pag nangyari yung mga ganun, may mga partisipasyon ng lahat. Tsaka kahit pa paano magkakabenepisyo din sa iba-ibang tao dun sa area na yun.
Alright, sir, siguro na lang, mensahe na lang po para sa ating mga manonood regarding what they will be expecting at syempre what to look forward to based on the event that we'll be having tomorrow.
Lang naman binanggit ko nga kanina, it's just the start of the harder process of implementation. At saka dito mayroong pa rin panahon to participate, especially sa mga consultations natin. Sigurado magkaka-mga public hearing din yan in terms of the Bangsamoro Basic Law. Mag-participate, provide some of the inputs, in the meantime, I think mag-participate din sa iba-ibang consultation. May mga ginagana pa rin yung Bangsamoro Transition Commission na mga consultation prior to the finalization of the draft. Sumama pa rin sa mga ganon. At saka later on, I think, of course, be very active politically. Siyempre, sumama sa plebisito sa hopefully early next year. Mga ganung bagay. Be part of the whole process politically, and hopefully later, they can also benefit economically.
Alright, maraming salamat at syempre napakarami nating natutunan ngayong umaga tungkol sa mga annex sa mga maliliit na detalye na kumbaga kailangan rin nating malaman bilang mga citizens dahil this will be part of history. Kaya maraming salamat sa inyong panahon ngayong umaga. That was former Agriculture Secretary Senen Bacani. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat.